Call the meeting to order. Tax Committee meeting, February 6th, Tuesday, 2018. Amanda, would you take the roll, please?
Somebody.
Present.
Kopenauer.
Present.
Awful. Here. Persley.
Present.
Whitlow.
Here.
Sticknott.
Here. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Second. Dan, okay, all in favor, or any discussion first? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, let's look over the claims. Audit the claims. Send them to County Board for approval. Do I have a motion to approve the claims?
So moved.
And Dan, seconds. Discussion on the claims.
I have a question. Do you know if someone here or a body of some people here, is there a way to look up, say, the history of January of 2008? For some of these expense months?
For 2008.
Just say for 2008, do we go back that far?
We can go back to 2011 was when we installed our
11 is
current
the as
software.
far as you can go back?
I've got some hard copies that I can make copies of,
And
but
is
it's
that
the
a-
old green bar stuff from 2008.
Would that be would that take a lot of time to look something like that up?
From 2011 or from 2008?
You can get right to it if somebody would ask.
Well, not right to it, but I can get to it, sure.
Pardon me?
Yes, I can
Okay.
do that.
That's the only question I have.
So you want something from 2008, and you're gonna let me know what that
I
is?
would let you know. I would let you know.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any more discussion? If not, Amanda, would you call the roll, please?
Crumbly,
Yes.
Kopenauer,
Yes.
Awful. Yes. Persley.
Yeah.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Signat.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Send it on to the county board. Public comments. No public comments? Okay. Any discussion points from the committee members? Anything on your minds? Cold. It is. Pretty outside. Okay, if not, we'll go on to approval of resolutions and deeds acquired through delinquent tax process. And Lisa, can you handle that?
Yeah, I've got 26 parcels, resolutions and deeds for 26 parcels throughout the county that were sold at the auction in September of 17. That Ballengers has done all the paperwork for, and so these are parcels that nobody else bought at the tax sale, no other tax buyer bid on, so the trustee acts as a tax buyer on behalf of the county and holds the properties until the auctions. And so these have been sold now and will be back on the tax rolls, other than the ones that I think were sold to Friends of the Kankakee. I think they're tax exempt. But so there was Donovan, Watseka, Woodland, Danforth, Sheldon, they're Spring Creek parcels all over the county. And so I just need approval, a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve resolutions and deeds acquired through the delinquent tax process?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Kevin, is there a second?
Second motion.
Okay, Troy, second. Is there discussion from committee members? If not, Amanda, would you call the roll?
Crumbly,
Yes.
Kopenauer, Awful. Yes. Persley.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Signat.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to approved list of tax bills to be voided. Is that you?
I have that also.
Okay.
We get this from the Ballengers, and it is the list of the properties that the county is holding. So tax bills don't go out to these parcels. And so you just need to approve it every year, and then Bob will get a copy of it, and Mindy will get a copy of it to make sure that tax bills don't go out
Okay.
to ourselves.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve list of tax bills to be voided?
So moved.
Jed, second? That's awful. Discussion. Hearing none. Would you call the roll again, Amanda?
Promedy,
Yes.
Holdenauer,
Yes.
Awful, Persley,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Signat.
Yes. Okay. Lisa, since you're on a roll, would you give a report from your department?
Yes. You may have heard our press release yesterday. Early voting was supposed to begin Thursday, the 8th, but there is a candidate for Attorney General on the Democrat ballot who was objected to, and the objection was sustained, so he did something wrong with his filing or whatever, he was taken off the ballot. Well, he has appealed it, and the court issued a stay until his next court hearing, which means he's now back on the ballot, and there is no court date set yet. Hopefully we'll hear something today and they'll expedite it, but we will not be voting on, unless they do it really, really fast, we won't be starting to vote on the 8th. It's not extremely uncommon for this to happen, but it's a big issue. It's a much bigger issue for like the large counties that have to have early voting because they have colleges, so they have to have early voting in several different sites throughout their county. So once the court decides on this, all of our vendors will be finalizing our ballots. The State Board of Elections will certify it to us, which is what they have already done, but then it keeps changing. And then once it's certified to us, then we can start burning our memory cards and printing ballots and stuff like that. So we only have the one early voting site, and that's here, in my office. So we just have 2 memory cards to burn, and we can print ballots as people come in. But for those other counties, it's a much bigger issue for them. So this is definitely not the first time that we haven't been able to vote on the first day that we're legally supposed to be able to vote. There's definitely an inherent problem with, they need to either make the appeals process shorter or the filing period, earlier, something like that, but nobody's done that yet.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Mindy, what do you have?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Bob, what do you have?
Board review has sent out tentative change notices, so final hearings will start next Tuesday after the holiday, and go for 5 business days, and then after that, then we will start our final abstracts, and then close out 17 for the year. And then just one other note, if you're not aware, I submitted my credentials to Policy and Procedure for my request to be reappointed. My appointment's up in May. I think John said he was going to bring it next month. Doesn't matter to me when it is. Just it's in May, and I submitted my educational qualifications to Policy and Procedure. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
I guess I have a question, Bob. I don't know if this is your department or not. Concerning inspections, do you appoint people who do building inspections in our electrical or whatever we have?
Zoning, but I'll answer it today if you want me to. I put out when I took office, I had 3 inspectors that were already being used. It was Huck Marshall and Bates and Mel, and Huck retired, so I put an ad on the website and asked other contractors around town if they knew anybody that wanted to do it. And for the plumbing inspector, somebody submitted Barney Christensen's name, that he was recently retired. He was a union plumber. So I contacted him, reached out to him, and he asked to be, he said he would be willing to do it. And so I got him going, because I needed inspections done. And then Mel has recently passed away, so I put an ad on nothing for a week or so, a couple weeks, and then Larry Miniger contacted me, he reached out to me. He's recently retired. He's an electrician, as long as I can remember. Worked for Brian Grimes. And he said he wanted to try it out, see if he liked it, see if it's something he wanted to do. So I needed electrical inspections done, and from what people I've talked to, they said thought he was qualified. So I got him going. We haven't had a zoning meeting in a couple months, so I've never officially requested him being, submitted. Obviously, the committee can say no if they want, and the full board can say no down that rate, and then we'll just, but
I'm not.
You got somebody that would...
No, I'm not questioning it.
Yeah, that's the process I use, and,
Because I work with Larry Miniger, so I'm well aware he's great. He'd be a great
yeah,
prospect.
I mean, I just put, because the problem with our inspectors is they're on call,
Right.
and I can't get anybody to do it that's running a business, that's working on job sites, because they just can't up and leave.
Right.
So it's basically somebody who's retired, who can just give them a call and then go out there. A lot of our guys, the contractors call, they want them out the same day, and that's not conducive to somebody that's running a full-time electrical business, is on a job site and gets a phone call from me and says, can you leave in an hour and go to this book? Go, and you're up and down, and then they want you in Bales Lake in an hour. It's just not feasible. And that's why nobody that's running a full-time business does it.
I don't
And it's difficult to find people to do it. So you're looking for guys who have retired, who want to keep busy doing something. Barney's been a great fit, the plumbing inspector. He's done, Larry works out, great. If it doesn't, then I'll be searching for, and I asked several electricians that I knew if you knew of anybody, and I got no names, and then all of a sudden I didn't even think of Larry, and he called me, and I said, here's what we do, you want to try it? Have at it. He gets paid per diem and mileage, that's it.
No, I was asked throughout the community, and I said, you know what, I'll ask Bob when I see him what's going on, and I appreciate it very much.
That's fine.
Oh, Mindy, I did have one question for you. Is the safety tax revenue flowing in yet?
Yes.
It's coming, okay. All right, good. Good deal. All right. Oh. Anyone else? Anita, you have anything?
No, we're doing dog deposits, licensing deposits, and that's going very well, actually. Mary Ann has the hang of it. She's working really well with the treasurer's office. Like if you look at our budget, it's $83,500 for the year, which is about $6,900 a month. And in January, we did $6,870 in deposits. So there was a lot of backlog and some things that were false starts, like hadn't been done correctly, so a lot of reversals and put back in the right way. So it was a slow start, but Mary Ann's got the hang of it, and it's going fine.
Okay, good.
That's the question. Anita, is the process still the same for when people don't pay their dog tags and then they have to go to court and
We haven't touched that,
okay,
really, in the 2 months I've had it.
okay,
So there is a process. I met with the state's attorney's office when it was first transitioned to my area in December. I met with Kara Matz, the assistant state's attorney over there, and she and Lisa had some concerns about how it had been done, and actually Kara was going to write up some procedures. We haven't got those yet, but it will be the same process, and we're hoping to do it a lot quicker. And there were maybe past due notices when it came to us in December, November, December. Past due notices hadn't been sent out in 13 months. So huge backlog, huge backlog. So we're trying to catch up with all of those. I don't know what the process was in terms of sending them over. I know it was all manual before, so it's more automated now We haven't sent anything to the circuit clerk's office yet.
Okay. Move on to animal control. Dr. Yusuf won't be here today. He had a family emergency and had to fly to the West Coast. He told me he was going to be back about 1 a.m. this morning at O'Hare. I told him, do not try to make the meeting, because he was intending to try to make the meeting, and I told him, the way the weather conditions and the roads are, do not do it and stay in Chicago if possible. So I think that's what he did. So we don't have a report from him. But there is an opportunity to join an animal control association. Mr. Shearer has some information on that. Can you present that information about joining Animal Control Association?
Well, there's an Illinois Association of Animal Control Units, and they have a website, and I went on the website and told them to ask for information about joining and so forth. I did that back in November, and their computer was down, I guess, for quite a while, but recently they replied and said that they would like to be happy for us to join. It's a statewide association, and it helps to further matters related to animal control. And I think it's a very nominal annual cost. I don't remember the exact amount right off the top of my head. I think it was $25 a year. But I think it'd probably be a good idea for our county to join.
Do you have the website?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the website?
Illinois Animal Control Association.
Okay. Any discussion?
What are the advantages of, I'm sorry, what are some of the advantages that,
Well, I think some of the advantages probably have to do with legislative matters that would relate to animal control by having an association where all the different members can pool their efforts.
That's all online then, John, what they
Yes,
offer?
sir.
That's all online, what they offer, and
Right,
what the dues get us, and...
correct,
Okay.
yeah. I thought I gave you something from that, Marvin. I guess I don't have a...
Yeah, I was in such a tizzy this morning trying to get everything down and good here. I just didn't look at it very closely.
I came across it when we visited the animal control facility down in Vermilion County. They had a plaque up on the wall that said they were a member of that, and so that's why I went on the internet to see what it was all about, and found there's quite a few counties that belong to that, and I think some cities that have their own animal control facility also are involved. They have periodic meetings, and I think the meetings are helpful. I think they disseminate information to the members about activities going on with animal control and whatnot. So I mean, I think Dee has something
The
on.
Illinois Animal Control Association communicates very well with public health. I've done some of their training webinars on recommendations for investigations and how they work with public health, and that's a really nice website. They send me updates, but they also send out notices when there's a rabies case in Illinois and the details of the case, explaining the process of the investigation, and give tips on what they would have, what future recommendations would be, according to some very strange case scenarios that they give. But I like that association, and they communicate very well with public health, and even though Iroquois County isn't a member, I've submitted questions through Champaign County just to ask them, and they've gotten back to me right away with answers. So I think that's a really good, if it's only $25, that's a good association to belong to.
We can either approve it now or wait till next meeting and get more information, depending on what the feelings of the committee are.
Well, I think we ought to have a chance to look it up and actually look for ourselves and see what they offer. And I know it's not a big deal, but maybe just get a little bit of knowledge about it before we vote on it. That's my opinion.
Looked it up too.
So, probably the consensus is we can table it for,
Next meeting, I would say.
yeah, okay. Yeah, why don't we table it and then we can get ourselves educated and see what we have. Is there any old business? Any new business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no?